Good morning, everyone. It's Nico Els here. We are aware that some of the attendees are still downloading the webinar application. We're going to be a little bit patient. We're going to start at 11:05. We're just allowing 5 minutes for the attendees that still want to. Just to still I will also to remind you listening to webinar, but that we will only start at 5 past. Good morning again. Again, Nico here. Just be patient. We are just waiting for some attendees to join. We will start at 5 past 11. Okay, good morning everyone again. It's Nico here again. As I said before, there's some of the attendees are still downloading the application. We know that they want to join, so if you use a little bit of patience, please. We will start at 5 past 11 sharp. Thanks a lot. Morning everyone again. Again, Nico. It's now 4 minutes past 11. We will start at 5 minutes past 11. So another minute of patience, please. We'll start exactly 5 minutes past 11. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is Nico and Akash here from ACS in South Africa. It's a wonderful privilege that we have to share some of the information of the new Sigma printer range with all the attendees. We're very privileged to be able to do it. And before we start, I would just give Nobuhle a quick opportunity to say good morning to everyone. since she is the direct contact with all the attendees. And Nobuhle will also just give a quick update on the relationship between Web for Africa and ACS. So Nobuhle, over to you.
Thank you, Nico. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to our first webinar of DataCard products. Thank you for taking your precious time and valuable time to join. ACS is our DataCard partner located in South Africa. ACS has over the years provided us with local support. They've also trained our engineers to extend that support to you. Please stay connected to hear more about the exciting products that DataCard has in store for you. Thank you. Over to you, Nico.
Thanks, Nobuhle. Yeah, it's always nice to work with friends. We call them friends. They, over the years, we become more than business partners, and Nobuhle, you certainly are one of those that we can truly call a friend. So the purpose of today is to give the channel partners, all your customers, an overview of the new Entrust printer range. This range is called the Sigma range. And what we're going to do is we have about 35 slides to go through. Certainly want to do it as quickly and effectively as possible without stretching the timeline too much. What I would like to suggest to anyone that has a question, can you please pose the question in the chat box? We will then respond to it either immediately. If we cannot attend to it immediately, what we will do is we will respond to it after the webinar, and we will then provide Nobuhle with the answer, and she will then distribute it to the attendee that asked the question. So, as is always good with any slideshow, I have to show an agenda, and the agenda is going to be as simple as this. We're going to give you a quick introduction and some background information on the new range of Entrust printers. And this range is referred to, as I said, the Sigma range. And one thing that will be abundantly clear during this presentation is the 3 S words that we attach to the Sigma range, which is safe, simple, and secure. So we will cover some of the key differentiators of the printer range. We will give you a solution overview. We will touch base on some of the key features of the product. And then we will just have a brief 2 slides on the supplies of the range of Sigma printers. Okay, I always say a picture speaks 1,000 words, and this is an image of the Ds3, which you may or may not see on the LCD display there. The one thing that is very prevalent in this image is the LED lights that are around the printer. Those lights are configurable. You can change the color of the lights to fit in with your ambient. Now, that doesn't make the printer a better printer, but it certainly makes it a little bit more attractive. So that's just one of the small features added to the new range of printers. The introduction and background with regards to the Sigma range is that we want to show you how we experienced the out-of-box sometimes on previous and older ranges of printers. In the past, there were quite often a lot of wires and a lot of connectivity things and a lot of actions that you had to take to get a device connected. And today, it's a very simple, straightforward, very manageable process. And I will guarantee all the attendees, if you get a Sigma printer in a box, by following that simple instruction on the sheet that is printed, even if you have had no exposure previously to a card printer, you will be able to connect this printer and produce a card. So the simplicity of the Sigma printer compared to older printer ranges is very evident. The next slide that I want to show and share with you, in the past, you had to have several different printers in stock to ensure that you could fulfill the requirements of your customers. The Sigma has changed that because the Sigma is a fully field upgradable product that you could buy a base model, and then you could configure it on certain of the models. You can configure it to become a lot more than what you originally purchased. On the image on the right-hand side of your screen now, you will see that the Ds3 and even the Ds2 printers can be configured with multiple hoppers, input hoppers, in fact 6 of them. You could have a laminator station underneath it. You could have an embossing station underneath it. You could have even a tactile impression module added to the back of a printer. So these printers are certainly very versatile, and it really limits the number of printers that you have to carry in stock to fulfill your customers' requirements. In the past, you had to contact someone, and many of you won't even recognize that. That shows you my age, but that's an old dial telephone. Nowadays, people only know cell phones, but you had to make a call to get the resolution on something. The new Sigma range has got a printer dashboard that is a downloadable application that you can download to your smartphone, and it links to the printer, and it allows you to do certain inquiries to and from the printer, and the printer will also prompt you if consumable levels becomes low or if it needs attention, such as a cleaning cart to be sent through the thing. There's also a QR code on the printer that you could scan in with the application, and that QR code then allows you access to certain videos that will take you through the setup process and some technical glitches that you may experience to overcome those, but we'll cover that a little bit later as well. Okay, what is the market trends today? The market trends today is that people still do a lot of things on-prem or on-premise, but that people also move to cloud-based solutions. Is the Sigma printer ready for cloud-based solutions? Absolutely. Entrust designed this printer to be cloud ready, and you can connect it to the cloud, and that allows you the ability to produce a card in Germany while sitting in South Africa, or in Zimbabwe while sitting in Kenya, or in Kenya while sitting in England, because the printer can be connected to the cloud, and there are software solutions that now enables you to issue a card from any place in the world to any place where a linked device is situated in the world. There's a big convergence between the physical and digital side. Africa is probably lagging a little bit, but certainly in North America and Europe, there's a big drive to link a physical card, whether it's a loyalty card or an access card or even a financial card, to link that card to a digital token. And whilst this presentation is not so much about the digitalization of the solution, it is important to note that the Sigma printers and the Sigma printer solutions are geared up for that convergence that is certainly happening very quickly in the real world. The last trend is that mobile is becoming one of those aspects that is almost first. It is documented by studies done in Harvard and Oxford that people would turn around to go and fetch their phone if they forgot their phone at home, but if they forget their computer at home, they will go to the office and work predominantly from their phone. So the mobile devices that you and I carry today certainly became very important in our lives, and we almost feel naked when we don't have the mobile device. So the new Sigma range also allows you then full integration to your hardware, to the card printer, and the application and digital tokens, etc., that could be issued as part of the card issuance process is very eminent on the mobile devices. Those are the main market trends as far as card issuance are concerned. Key differentiations of the Sigma range of printers. The new Sigma range of printers are all pre-built with certificates in the printer. So there's no need to have an extra console to connect a printer to the console and then to download a certificate to it. The importance of that is that you can plug in the printer and you can print. And the other aspect that's very important to note as well is the fact that the certificate in the printer allows you also to do encrypted messages, which is a very important aspect for card issuance, specifically when you want to do cloud card issuance. So the image at the right-hand side of the screen indicates in the past, if you had printers, you would have had to connect those printers to a, call it a console, to be able to download certificates. No longer a requirement with the new Sigma printer range. We already alluded to the fact that the new Sigma printer range is a very modular design, allowing you to buy a specific base model and then to upgrade it to fit your card issuance requirements at a later stage. I mentioned the fact that the laminator, single and double laminator could be added to the printer. Tactile impression module could be added to the printer. 6 multi-hopper input module could be added to the printer, etc. And some of those images on the screen are just some of the configurations that is possible. I think another key differentiator here is the convergence of physical and digital. As I said, we're not going to go into the digital side today that much because we're concentrating more on the physical side of the issuance process. And this is just again confirming that the cloud issuance is very, very possible with the Sigma printer, any place in the world to any device in the world that is connected. That's an option today. If you do not have that, if you do not have that requirement, then you still do it on premise. The instant ID as a service is, I left this specifically in because it is a key differentiator for us still, and we still have to mention it, but it provides our reseller channel and our partners with the ability to create separate revenue streams. The issue that the challenge that we're currently experiencing is that the issuance of a digital device is driven by the availability of Google Pay and Apple Pay in South Africa and in Africa. And until that is a mainstream product that we could reliably use, we will have to put the ID as a service or issuance of an ID card for the time being on hold. We believe that Entrust is working on a solution, and hopefully we can have a proper solution by about mid next year. And then we will certainly take this on again. Right, so let's look a little bit at the Sigma range of printers. On the right-hand side, the white printers, or the predominantly white and purple printers, are the DS1 and DS2 printer range. That could be favorably compared with the SD160 and SD260 range. And on the left-hand side, the dark gray and light gray combination printers are the DS3 and DS4 printers. These printers could be compared with the SD360 and SD460. It's not a 100% fit for function comparison, because some of the features of the current SD360 is actually covered with the Sigma DS2. But I think the important thing we need to get across here is that it's a simple solution. It's really simple from the moment that you do the installation to the moment that you can issue a card. It's a secure solution. So Sigma range of printers is now a trusted Internet of Things device that can ensure that customers and their data are safe from any intruders. I mentioned the fact that the certificates are preloaded on the printers, and that all the printers provide information and receive information in an encrypted manner. So even if someone can intercept the information, it is encrypted and therefore of very little use. I think the reason why they also refer to it as a smart printer is the fact that the printers were designed with the future in mind. So we hope that the printer is as future-proof as you can get it, and we believe based on our experience and based on the feedback that we've received from our customers, that is indeed the case. A little bit of a repeat of previous slides, just to underpin the simple concept. Very simple to take it out of the box. We are very confident when we state that it's a best-in-class out-of-box experience that you can have. The packaging material has really been thought through very well. It's very simple to unpack it out of the box, very simple to repack it, and also the instruction set and the container that has the ribbon and the peripherals associated with setting up the printer is very, very simple to use. The best issuance experience already referred to the fact that you can do it either on-prem or cloud, and we believe that this versatility of the printer will make it a very attractive option for people. And then the productivity tools. Instead of being next to your printer, you could be even in a city and get prompted that your consumables are low. You could set up your reseller details in the application and order consumables, for instance, for the printer. So you do not have to be on site next to the printer to realize that there's maybe something required, and that makes it a really nice productivity tool in terms of consumable usage, in terms of cleaning card requirements, etc. The secure, we've mentioned it. The first thing is that I haven't mentioned before is that when the Sigma printer boots up, it's a secure boot. And this boot process ensures that the printer is immune, if I may use that word, from any virus or malware on boot up. This is very important, taking into consideration that this printer is now a cloud-based printer. The last thing you want to do is to have a device that connects to the cloud and also to your internal network, and suddenly that device has a degree of vulnerability. So the secure boot of the printer will ensure that nothing can ever be downloaded to the printer in terms of malware or in terms of any other virus software that people want to download to that specific IP address. And the secure boot prevents the printer from starting up if that is detected. The Trusted Platform module enables you to manage the certificates, and we already mentioned that the certificates are preloaded on the printer, and it's got an SSL and TLS certificate that is stored within the Trusted Platform module. The rest around it is just to support what I've already mentioned with regards to the security. The connection between the software and the printer is not only secure, but it's encrypted, and that makes the security even better. And any data that is sent between the software and the printer is secure and encrypted. So if it is, if someone manages to intercept it, it will be pretty useless for that person to use. Also remember, one thing that is very important, and that is a requirement of what we refer to in South Africa as POPIA, the Protection of Personal Information Act. In Europe and please, they call it the GPDRS, General Protection of Data. It's the fact that the printer doesn't store any information on the printer. So once a credential has been issued, that credential, if issued, all the data associated with the credential is then wiped from the printer. So that's an important aspect to take into consideration when we refer to the security of the device. Next thing is obviously the smart part, and the smart part links to the fact that the printer is configurable to be used on-prem and or cloud, all the security associated with it, all the productivity tools with it, and you can issue any ID issuance for any credential from any place on any device that's connected. This is again just another slide that makes it very clear that the pre-built certificates of the printer makes the printer a device that is 100% ready to be connected to the cloud. Again, the smart and physical and mobile issuance is indicating that either on-prem or cloud issuance of a printer could be done, and that brings us to the key features of the device. We've mentioned how simple it is to take the printer out of the box. This diagrammatic presentation of the process is clear that the box is wrapped around the printer, protecting the printer from any potential damage during transport, and everything you need is available when you unpack it from the box. Simplified quick start guide allows people, even without any experience on printers, to set the printer up, ensure that it is correctly connected, ensure that the consumables are correctly loaded, ensure that that person without any experience is in fact able to produce a card. I mentioned the LED ring. This is just an example of some of the colors that could be used. It really creates a very nice ambience for the printer. You can see that red, green, blue, purple are some of the variable LED lights that we can see. And it shows the status of the printer as well. So if for instance, you've selected green on the printer and there's an error on the printer, it will change to red to indicate that there's a status, there's something wrong with the printer. It's very useful because you do not have to go to the printer to see that something is different. You can simply see that the red ring around the printer indicates that there's attention required. The printer dashboard is very nice productivity tool. You can see the printer status, whether it is in an idle mode, whether it is being used to produce a card, whether the supplies are still okay to be used, whether the cleaning status of the printer is intact, or whether a cleaning card must be sent through the printer, whether updated firmware may be required, and also it allows you to have the details of the contact people that you need to contact for assistance on the printer. It's a really nifty little application. It's an application that certainly ensures that as a manager, for instance, of a department, that you are in touch with everything that needs to happen as far as your printer production is concerned. Now we will move to the consumables. One of the aspects that is quite useful is that you can also order a pre-filled cassette now. So the ribbons are no different to the ribbons that you currently know very well. It's still a D2T2 printing process, so still dye diffusion thermal transfer. The ribbons are still YMCK predominantly, but there's YMCKT, YMCKTKT, YMCF, etc. Various options available. But the nice thing is you can buy a pre-filled cassette or a cassette, and you can preload a ribbon onto it. And when an operator needs to exchange the ribbon, he simply takes the whole cassette out, exchanges it with the new cassette, and within a matter of seconds, that person is ready to produce cards again. I think an important aspect that is the first in the world for thermal printers is the Printhead Protector. There are a number of devices in the world where print heads get damaged because the operators may not be taking the right care when they exchange the consumables, or when they remove a stuck card in the printer or something like that, and thereby physically damaging the printhead. On the Sigma range, that can no longer happen because the Printhead Protector actually protects the printhead from being able to be damaged by an operator. And I think that's a very nifty aspect as well. Very sellable, very nice feature of the Sigma range printer is the tactile impression that we now have as an option. Not only tactile impression, but also color tactile impression. And there's about 4 or 5 different colors that could be used. Gold, silver, black, etc. are the ones I can think of. I think there's a blue as well, where you could have your own tactile die made of your own company, or for that matter, your customer's company. And it provides a very easy and instant means of verifying the authenticity of that issued card. It provides you with visual feedback immediately if you selected a gold or silver color, and it provides you with a tactile feel on the card, which makes it very difficult then to fraud cards. So I think one of the drives with this tactile impression model was bad guys like to alter or to change cards or to recreate cards and give unlawful people the ability to enter a building or to access a premise. And with this feature, you have both first and second line defense, and no one that is not allowed to enter a facility would ever be able to get access if they use the tactile impression module. In addition to that, there's holographic laminates, which is also something that featured on the previous range of printers, the SD printers. But this, the tactile impression is just something that is slightly more developed and slightly different to what the old SD460 were capable of doing. Available models, and this is where I think it's important that we just ponder a little bit on the capabilities of the devices. So the Sigma DS1, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is really a replacement for the SD160 printer. It's a simplex only device. It's a USB printer. Wi-Fi is indicated as optional, but it's not always available because of regulatory requirements that we still have to comply with. It may be available in future, but there's some regulatory requirements associated with issuance of devices that is Wi-Fi capable, and at this stage, Intrust is still working on it for some regions in the world like Asia, Africa, etc. And the printer comes standard with a magstripe module. No, optional with a magstripe model. So the basic DS1 is a printer only, simplex printer only with USB connectivity. And the one and only option on the DS1 printers are the fact that you could add a magstripe module. Now the DS2 printer, different to the DS1, is either simplex or duplex. You could order a duplex printer and not utilize it, and then you decide to utilize it. You can get the smart card to be added to the printer that enables duplex printing. It is USB and Ethernet capable, and also for the same comments as I made on the DS1, it will be Wi-Fi capable as well, as soon as the regulatory requirements have been done. magstripe is an option on the printer, and smart card is an option on the printer. So you will already see now that the DS2 is a form, fit, and function replacement for the SD260 and partially SD360 because of the duplex capability that is into the mold. The Ds3 printer is the printer that comes standard as a duplex device. It's got USB and Ethernet, optional smart card, optional magstripe, optional locks, optional lamination module, optional color tactile module, optional multi-hopper module. So the DS3 is actually the base model for the top of the range. And as soon as you have certain things configured on it, it becomes a DS4. Like if you want to use it for financial instant issuance and you need an embosser model to be added, it'll be called the DS4, but it's in fact a glorified DS3 printer. So in order to avoid confusion, we decided only to show the DS1, DS2, and DS3 printer. Anything more than that, as I said, when we move to the DS4 side, becomes for very specialized issuance of cards. To make it again simple, Sigma DS1 SD160, Sigma DS2 SD260/SD360, and then SD360 becomes effectively the DS3. The difference is that these devices are quicker, faster, very important, cheaper. Despite all the additional features and despite the fact that these devices are now cloud ready and with preloaded certificates and all the stuff that we've already mentioned, the devices are actually at a lower price than the SD range of printers. Very important also to mention that the lead time on the devices are now literally about a week. And if shipping wasn't such an issue in our lives due to the COVID restrictions and less flights that are available, you know, I would have felt very confident to say to you, if you order a printer on a Monday, we will be able to give it to you by the next Monday. But sadly, because of shipping and things like that, it's still a 2 to 3 week process. But compared to the current delivery times of SD printers, which is 4 to 6 months, this is chalk and cheese. The DS models are available within literally 2 to 3 weeks. Very important. I mentioned the advantages of the tactile impression model. I also want to mention something about the retransfer printer, which is a replacement. It's actually a Ds3, but it's a retransfer model, and it's now called the CR805. It replaces the current, no, it's the same, SR805, whatever the case may be. And that allows you then to print with the retransfer technology a blank white card to look like a lithographically printed card. And then you can also add the color tactile impression model at the back of the card. Final slide that I want to show on this one is again, just to reiterate it, is the modularity of the design, how you can expand the printer, add functionality, and really provides you with the ability to buy a base model, and as your card issuance needs evolve, you can add to it. And then I said to you, you may feel that we repeated too many times, but again, the three most important words with the new Sigma range is the simplicity, the security, and the fact that it's a very smart device that is used. And why should partners sell Sigma? We believe the simplicity of the device allows you the ability to ship a printer to a customer, and the customer should be able to do it all on his own, maybe with a little bit of guidance, but we believe they should be able to do it all on their own, especially if they use the printer dashboard, and especially if they use the guidance of the sheet that accompanies the printer. Business growth for you as a reseller is important. When the printer application is downloaded onto the smartphone, you could enter your credentials so that if any supplies are required for the device, you will become the first point of contact for your customer. You will own the customer experience. The fact that there's a print protector or printhead protector means that the running cost of your device will become significantly lower, because it will be very difficult to damage a printhead. Not only will you get longer reliability out of your device, but also you save a bundle of money, as the printhead is probably the most expensive part on a printer. The Sigma range provides you with an integrated solution. As I said, we will not concentrate too much on the issuance of a mobile or a token, but it allows you the ability to do a physical card issuance from anywhere in the world to any device in the world that's connected. The upgradability is a great selling point. Its modular product design ensures that you can add features and functions to the printer. And then it's an innovative device that shows you through visual feedback that something may be required. It shows you on your smartphone, the productivity tool on your smartphone, that some attention is required in terms of cleaning cards or consumables that need to be ordered. And it is just one of the most aesthetically pleasing devices that ever been designed. I have about 2 slides to go, and I just want to show you, we have already seen this. There are a number of consumables available. I did not put the list on here, but it is in fact a little bit more comprehensive than what you and I are used to on the SD range of printers. And it depends on the requirements of the customer, what could be required, and it depends on the configuration of the device, whether or not you need the tactile impression consumable, whether you need a fluorescent panel, whether you need YMC KT, KT ribbons, etc., etc. A huge variety of printer consumables. And again, user-friendly supplies. It's simple to install the supplies. The printer dashboard allows you to see what is required on the printer, and then the how-to videos, which you can access through scanning the barcode that is on the printer. And that is my song for today. So I managed to do it in about 40 minutes, which I hoped I could achieve. And I see no questions as yet. So I think we will open the floor now for any questions. If there are any questions from anyone, Bearing in mind this is not a technical presentation, this is a sales presentation to expose you to the new brand of printers. Remember, smart, secure, and simple. Remember, it's a printer designed for the cloud. It's a printer that's designed for on-premise issuance. It's a printer that is designed for modularity, upgradability, ease of use, simplicity, etc., etc. So if there's any questions, please speak up now, or alternatively post your question on the chat box and we will attempt to answer it. For now, I'm just going to quickly mute myself. One of the questions is the ribbons compatible to the SD printers? No, unfortunately not. Every time that a new range of printers are introduced, the ribbons also change. So the Sigma range comes with its own unique set of ribbons. It's not compatible with the SD range of printers. And the reason for that is different software, different ways of rasterizing the images and ensuring that the images are printed with crisp and 100% accuracy, so it's not compatible. Julia, I see you've had your hand up. If you can maybe just type your question on the chat box, that will be very useful for us, please.
Okay, yeah, we've got another one.
Another one coming in?
On the chat, the Vishnu wants to know, please get advised when data card will stop supporting old SD cards.
Okay, so the question is, just for everyone's sake, you will see it in the chat box, is please indicate when data card will stop supporting the current, or not the current, the previous range, the SD range of printers. So the commitment that Entrust has always made with any range of printers is that they will try their utmost to support that range of printers for a period of 5 years after discontinuation. Now, discontinuation was in September, October this year, so it should be supported till about 2026. Bearing in mind that one of the biggest challenges for any supplier is to be able to source components to build for those printers. So if, as an example, someone stops manufacturing a printhead and that printhead was earmarked for the SD printer range, there's nothing Entrust can do about that. But we have, over all the years, and we've been involved for a long, long time, over all the years, Entrust has always managed to support a product after discontinuation for a period of 5 years. Okay, does the DS3 emboss or engross? Okay, so the process is called embossing and indenting. This is typically used in the retail market for aesthetically, the aesthetics of a card, or in the financial market. So the DS3 is called the DS4 when you put a embosser indent module at the bottom of the DS printer. That is at this stage called the DS4 ES1, and the DS4 ES1 can be used either in the financial industry market or alternatively in the retail market, but it becomes a DS4. I stated that to eliminate confusion, I didn't want to go too much into the DS4 and all the capabilities there, because I think the main market segment that you guys will be attacking will be the DS1, DS2, DS3 market segment. However, if it's a requirement, speak to Nobusle and we will certainly try to assist you. The answer is yes, embossing and indenting are available, but it's available on a DS4 with an embossing module fitted below the DS4. How is the cost of the cartridge for the Sigma comparison to the old data card? It's cheaper, yeah. So the answer there, how's the cost of the cartridge and or the consumable when compared between the Sigma range and the SD range? We're also very pleased to say that it is less expensive. So there's a savings there.
How is firmware update pushed to the printer?
Okay, yeah. I'll give it over to the technical specialist. I know, but I will probably lie a little bit. So, Akash.
Hi, Julia. Thank you for your question. With regards to firmware update, there is a few options on how you can update the firmware. depending how you connect your printer. So the most common way of doing it is if your printer is connected directly to your PC, DataCard normally will post their latest firmware updates on their website, which is www.entrust.com. Under the resource section, you can always go and search if there is any updates or firmware updates for your printer. You'll also find latest drivers that you can update your printer with. The second way of doing is like Nico mentioned, this printer was meant to be in the cloud or built for cloud readiness. So depending how you connect your printer, and if your printer is connected on the cloud, your printer manager application that comes with the printer will automatically detect that your printer needs an update, and provided you are connected on the internet on a secure line, you can update your firmware on your printer automatically.
Okay, so either by having your printer connected directly to your PC, or if it is connected as a cloud issuance device, the printer manager will pick it up automatically and prompt you for the upgrade to be done. I wanted to find out approximately how many cards are printed with one ribbon. Very similar to what the SD card and SD range are doing. The ribbons are provided in either 250 or 500 yields. In exceptional cases, like if a single monochrome ribbon are used, I think the usage could be 1,000 or 1,500. But for typical color issuance, the ribbons are made for 250 card issuance or 500 card issuance. Only in monochrome ribbon cases will the number be 1,000 or 1,500, depending on the type of ribbon. Color cartridge was expensive? Yes, it is. Color cartridges are generally expensive. The reason for that is that it is an expensive manufacturing process. As soon as you go to a paneled ribbon, the manufacturing process becomes quite complicated and therefore quite expensive as well. Also bearing in mind that it's not there's not millions of these ribbons produced every year to keep the manufacturing costs lower. It is just the nature of the beast. What I can promise you is that our costs on the consumables are very comparable and generally cheaper than any of our competitor products. Okay, there was then Girdlestone. Thank you for the DS4 information too. That's a pleasure. Happy to share with you guys. As I said to Nobuhle also, this is the first webinar to you guys. I think we should do this more regularly. We should do it at least twice a year, maybe 3 times a year, where we just get an opportunity to share ideas and to speak to you about what is happening in the world of card issuance.
Nobuhle just sent a message to our team with regards to the trading promotion.
Oh yes, maybe you can say a word or two on that, Akash.
Yeah. So Nobuhle, regarding your message in the chat box on the buyback of the old SD printers. So currently there is no promotion that DataCard is hosting with regards to trading of the old printers. That has finished. We're expecting something similar in the new year. Hopefully that comes through. But we got commitment from our original sales manager from Entrust, indicating that should we have a large number of printers that you want to trade in one go, then they could consider something regarding a trading promotion for just specifically for you.
Absolutely. We did check that out with Martin Junte and his team, and they said if there's substance to the request, and I think he mentioned something like 5 to 10 printers, including consumables, with some consumable orders linked to that, they're more than willing to consider a trade-in option. Okay, I think that pretty much handles all the questions that were posed. Yeah, so what we will do on our side is we will just send a reply in writing to all the participants of this webinar, so that we just confirm what we said verbally. From my side, I would like to thank every single participant for your time. Really appreciate it. I know making time available in the times that we are living is at a premium. So from my side, thank you very much. Nobuhle, thank you for the opportunity to share some ideas on the new range with your customers, and thank you for your willingness and preparedness always to try and build the brand out, and let's see whether we can be successful. If there's any additional questions or anything, please pose it to Nobuhle, and we're in constant communication with her, and we will try to the best of our ability to answer those questions from my side and from Akash's side and the team that sits around the table with me and Akash. Thank you very much. Trust you'll have a blessed day and a blessed week, and until we touch base again.
Thanks, everyone.